Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing a review of a horror film that actually hasn't been released yet, so it's very, very new. Released in the year 2013, obviously, directed by Andrew Traucki, and this movie is called The Jungle. Now, I was really psyched to see this one. Andrew Traucki, who has directed Black Water and The Reef. Fantastic horror films, really, really suspenseful, so I was psyched to be able to see his newest feature. So basically the movie is, it's a found footage film, so it's taking a different sort of road than his other two movies, which I can appreciate, something trying a little bit different. But hopefully I was really hoping that it would have that same Andrew Traucki feel, with really good suspense. So anyway, found footage film, it documents the life of two the conservationists. They're traveling to Indonesia because they want to do a study of the rare Javan leopard. Now, this Javan leopard is said to be nearly extinct because of poachers. So they're going to Indonesia, they're going to tag these leopards, and they're going to document their well-being. So they go to the jungle, they're accompanied by two natives, and they're going through this area, and this is where they realize that there is not all as what it seems, and that their lives are in grave danger because something far worse could be stalking them. So that's all I'm going to give you on the synopsis. If you want to know what happens to these characters, that's something you're going to have to find out for yourself, so hopefully I've done a good enough job with that rundown to get some curiosity out there for you. Now, my thoughts on the film. As I said, I'm a huge Andrew Traucki film. I believe his best movie was The Black Water because of the sheer sort of terror, the sheer suspense. And, there were some scenes in that movie, as with The Reef, he's just a master at creating something so unnerving that you can't stand still, that you have to just squirm around, and it's just nail-biting suspense. And that's what I love about him the most, and that's why I felt that The Black Water was his best film, but The Reef also had those elements to it, but The Reef was just a little bit more unrealistic as far as I'm concerned. So both of those films fantastic, and then I heard that he had a film called The Jungle. Now, this is set in Indonesia, but it is a very Australian film, Australian characters. The two natives are Indonesian, so there is a little bit of Indonesian language going on, but there's no subtitles, so you don't have to contend with any. But anyway, the Australian main characters, they go to this Indonesia. The setting is very, very good. I thought The Jungle, it's a very mysterious quality. It's a very good setting for a horror film. It's got a lot of beauty, but at the same time, a lot of terror. So I thought Andrew Traucki doing a film set in the jungle, it was in the makings of a very, very good movie. Unfortunately, I was bitterly, bitterly disappointed with this film because he kind of leaves all of his trademarks and he's made a very generic sort of found footage horror film. Now, there are certain parts of the movie that worked and there were certain parts that didn't. Unfortunately, the parts that didn't work outweigh the parts that worked. Now, to start with, as I said, the setting is very good and there is some very good use of noise and the anticipation of something really bad that's going to happen. So the suspense is there, but it's not sustained suspense. In The Reef and Black Water, you get suspense throughout the entire film. It doesn't really let up. Therefore, you feel exhausted at the end of it. But this one, there are patches where it has suspense, but most of it is just waiting for it, but it doesn't really have you on the edge of your seat. So it doesn't feel like an Andrew Traucki film. It kind of feels like he had his two movies that were really good. It proves something a little bit different. But then, as I said, he's gone to this found footage maybe to appeal to more people, and he's gone down a very generic path. Now, a lot of people say that they're sick of the found footage films, and if you watch this movie, it's not going to revitalize your need for it because it is just like any other movie. Now, the sound effects were very good. As I said, you don't see what is in this jungle until the very end, and I actually thought the very end of the film was very much a letdown. But there is parts of it where you're thinking to yourself, how big is this thing? What is this thing? Is it an animal? Is it something far greater? It's just, it has that level of uncertainty throughout the movie, but then as clues start to give you an insight into what it is, it just feels like a letdown. As I said, it doesn't feel like Andrew Traucki. It feels like something that's very generically done, very predictable, and in the end, it borrows a lot from other films, like The Blair Witch. It borrows from other films that I'm not going to tell you about, so I don't want to give it away, but I felt that, if you're a fan of Andrew Traucki, you're not going to really appreciate this film because it doesn't really have his trademark. It is very generic, and for someone of his standard, I was bitterly, bitterly disappointed. So there's not a lot more I can say about it without giving it away. I thought, it had the same sort of standard night vision cameras. It had the noises in the darkness. It had them going around looking for things, and it's just, as I said, you've been there, you've done that, and it's really a film that you could probably miss out on because you won't be missing a lot unfortunately, because I'm a big fan of this director, but he has really dropped the ball on this occasion. So, considering his talent, I am going to give this movie 1.5 stars. 1.5 because of the fact he is capable of so much better. But unfortunately, in this instance, I don't know what happened. Maybe he was just, I don't know, because he made it himself recognizable through his two first films, and this one, I don't know. It was very generic. It was just standard formula as far as found footage is concerned. There are some good moments, so someone out there might appreciate it more than me. That some of the genuine set pieces were typical of Andrew Traucki, where you did feel a little bit creeped out, but it was never sustained, and it was just, as I said, it was a letdown. So if you're expecting something like The Reef or Blackwater, you're going to be bitterly disappointed. I'm giving it 1.5 stars. Definitely does not come recommended. Hopefully Andrew Traucki can go back to what makes him the best, and he can just leave this one behind. So 1.5 stars for the Australian horror film, The Jungle. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.